Hi, Alex Afshar here from Dolanto. Across government and private sector, organizations more and more using contract as a key mechanism to be able to outsource design, build, operate, maintain, and dispose of major infrastructure and assets. We've been seeing firsthand over the last 2 decades in public and social infrastructure, outsourcing is a complex task. Understanding the contract outcome, executing on it, and able to communicate those type of things is going to help the client and delivery partner to be able to have better contract outcome, and more than important, be able to maintain the contract margin. Based on our experience over the many years working on both sides of the fence, we see that the language of the contract is complex. Based on our learning in Dolanto, we built a patented solution called a smart assurance. Over the next couple of minutes, I would love to share with you the contract assurance capability inside this solution and to be able to outline how we're going to resolve these challenges. If you're working in asset intensive organization, you may experience dealing with the contract. A typical contract in PPP, public private partnership, EPCM, or operate maintain contract could be something like this. And depending on the complexity involved inside the contract, it could be from 100 to 1,000 different pages, chapters, and some of them are contracted with each other. Each contract is including a section around the definitions and broader section around the scope and outlining age of role responsibility, timeline, obligations, and it could entail many different features, functionality, requirement that you need to be able to have inside your contract. Understanding this, communicating these, and executing on those outcomes is a complex activity. As a result, we build the capability to be able to make it simpler, save time, create efficiency, and provide more transparency, visibility to the parties responsible for the contract. Through this solution, you're able to quickly understand what are the obligation keywords, what are the must, shall, implicit obligation that you're dealing with inside your contract, what are obligation type, is it a financial requirement that you need to address, regulatory requirements, environmental, asset management, safety, and the list can actually go on. Yep. What are obligation roles inside the contract? Who will be responsible for what? And most importantly, understand the timeline. When do you need to be able to execute on these outcomes? And you could plan ahead instead of being reactive. For the sake of this demo, we use the example of the contract outline. We have a capability to go to the clause by clause or have a full overview of the contract immediately. We ingest the contract document as it is. As you can see, it's a table of content for the contract. We could go to the typical section like a continuous improvement is quite similar across all the contract, as you can see. Yep. In here, we have a specific contract clause as it is with no further changes. And we break down all of the clauses line by line, item by item, ensure that we're able to maintain all of the requirement. You could really see all of the keywords related to these clauses, type, roles, and timelines. And able to understand this really quickly is at significant benefit and value to the organization. As an example, in here, we have a sample size of the organization documentation management system. Could be safety, finance, many more requirements. And typical organization have hundreds to thousands different documentation in here. Be able to quickly undertake assessment against this requirement and what contract is asking. And the intent behind is to be able to provide an overview where do you stand at any point of time during the contract lifecycle. As you can see, the solution undertaking assessment in real time. Some of the clauses at the moment is compliant. The benefit of this, you could actually see why this clause at the moment compliant, and which document inside the organization management system and in what page addressing this requirement instead of actually opening too many documents. And the user have the capability to provide feedback to the solutions. For the clauses at the moment is non-compliant, you have the capability to be able to undertake same assessment In order to bridge the gap between compliant and non-compliant, if you decide to actually bridge this gap, you have the option to be able to provide an action plan, what needs to be done. Yep. And this actually give you a clear direction, what needs to be done. And you have the option to be able to assign this task to someone, to your team members. Yep. And basically give them clear direction, what needs to be done. You could send this quickly to them. Or if you decided not to pursue this one, you can actually add a comment in here for the person coming after you reading this contract. And also we provide a simplification of what this contract requirement means to be able to communicate really simply what actually it means. We build an interesting visualization capability that provide an overview of what's the level of compliance assurance against the contract over time. As you can see, we break this one to month by month, or we would break it week by week, depending on what stage of life cycle at the moment you are in inside your contract. The purpose behind this is outlining that are you focusing on the right thing at the right time to be able to provide these outcomes to your client. We also have the capability to be able to quickly visualize area at the moment compliant, non-compliant, partial compliance, and also we provide an overview of contract obligations, keywords, role responsibility, and timeline. Basically, we're going to give you a blueprint where the focus needs to be and how you need to be able to communicate with the right party to be able to execute on all of these outcomes during the course of your contract. Over the next couple of weeks, I will be sharing a little bit more about other capability feature, but if this interests you, feel free to reach out. We looking forward to hear from you in due course and hopefully add value to your journey. Thanks.